Research from MU finds one type of school employee is in a unique position to recognize students who are at risk for chronic absenteeism. That's when a student routinely misses at least 10% of their school days. Nearly a quarter of Missouri students fit that description. According to the state's education department, researchers found school nurses are in the best position to recognize when a student is missing class. The study also found that students are more prone to proactively go to the nurse's office as a source of support. The study's lead professor says this can be used to more effectively address those problems with a child and their family.
We've never really seen that as an opportunity for school nurses to label that as partial day absences who could be at-risk student for chronic absenteeism. So that's the part where I believe is very distinct, where school nurses can help out compared to other positions in schools.
Now, research has shown that children who miss school on a regular basis are more likely to have behavior and academic problems and are more likely to have negative career impacts.
In the